Hello everyone, my name is Derpy Guinea and welcome back to another video. I hope everyone had a great Christmas and is having a great start to the new year. I hope all your resolutions will be fulfilled and you accomplish many great things. As for me, I want to do the best with this channel and improve my editing skills. And maybe get a new mic, cause good lord is my audio trash. Starting off strong with new things here are these cute derpy drawings my little sister made for me. Thank you, little sis. So yeah, expect a lot of new things coming this year, and I thank you all so much for your support. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So this is part 3 of the most disturbing manga I've read so far. If you haven't seen the first 2, I highly suggest you do. I talk about some pretty interesting manga. From gory to ghost stories, lolly to just straight up depressive breakdowns, I read it all. And speaking of depressive breakdowns, Boys Abyss follows main character Reiji in a small town he resides in. With no other ambitions than to simply work in a construction site after school that was basically forced upon him, Reiji accepts that he can't and probably won't ever leave the town. The two things that keep him a little distracted from his reality is his best friend Chako and an idol group called Acrylic, mainly the lead singer Nagi Aoi. Chako then tells him about an upstream location called the Lover's Abyss, where a couple committed a double offing. Later on that night, when Reiji heads to a convenience store, he meets the lead singer of the idol group, who just happens to work there. The two talk and eventually head to Lover's Abyss, and that's where the story takes a turn. Oh boy, where do I begin with this one? This manga is a roller coaster full of emotions. There's so much I could talk about, but I'd rather you just read it instead. You get to know each character so well and what this small town did to them. Why some feel trapped, and why some feel the need to escape it, and why some need to stay. And then you have the mom and teacher, who are the most toxic and messed up characters in the manga. Like, for real, they are on one. Depression and feeling trapped in something you can't escape from is something I can relate to all too well. So reading this can definitely take you to some dark places, so be warned if you decide to read this one. High school girl Miko has the unnatural ability to see things the average person cannot. What can she see, you may be asking? Why, grotesque-looking spirits, of course, because why not? Rather than running away like I'm sure most of us would, she instead tries her best to ignore their encounters and live her life as normally as she can. Honestly, she's a lot stronger than me. There's no way I'd be able to ignore some of these things. I mean, look at that one. There's absolutely no way.
Ain't gonna be able to do it.
There are some spirits that have helped her out, and there's even some good ones, albeit it's hard to tell at times. But the flow of the manga itself is more of a comedy or slice of life rather than a dark and serious plot, which could make it a little easier to read for beginners in this type of genre. The Summer Heu Died is another depressing horror manga with lots of twists and mystery. Yoshiki's best friend, Hikaru, was missing on a mountain for about a week. Some time has passed since then, but Yoshi noticed ever since his friend came back from the incident, he hasn't been the same. When he confronts Hikaru about his suspicions, the facade breaks. His face slowly morphs into something that isn't human. His suspicions were confirmed. That's not Hikaru. Even after knowing his friend is gone, Yoshiki still wants this monster impersonating his friend around. He's not the only creature to reside around the village, though, as many strange occurrences happen throughout the manga. To me, it's like we're reading about a guy who's having a hard time letting go. I mean, frankly, it would be hard to let go of a person you know who died, but still have to see them every day, but it's doing nothing but making him stir more into madness. The pain of remembering an old friend and the memories you once both shared, only to look at essentially a living corpse and having to act normal around it, would be way too much for anyone. Not only that, but seeing the monster's true form come out of said friend's body would be nightmarish to say the least. The true form design isn't as scary as much as it is gross looking, but the whole idea of it coming out of your friend's body is what makes it truly petrifying. It's a good psychological read and dabbles into BL if you're interested in that too. 100 Ghost Stories of My Own Death, or The 100 Ghost Stories That Led to My Death, is a series of short ghost stories this creepy little kid reads to you. Supposedly, it follows old Japanese folklore where a person tells 100 ghost stories and blows out a candle while looking at themselves in a mirror. When the last candle, being the 100th one, is blown out, ghosts and demons are then summoned to the real world. A lot of these stories are actually pretty creepy given how short they are, and I like how we're greeted by the little boy at the start of each chapter. It's a nice creative touch that makes you feel like he's really telling these stories to you. But, based on the title, the folklore, and the many book covers, I have a bad feeling something awful is going to happen to our little host. Manhole follows two detectives investigating a slowly forming but deadly disease outbreak. One day, a naked man covered in blood is walking in a busy area. He spits blood up on an unsuspected victim, gets shoved down, and dies right on the spot. Fast forward during the autopsy, a form of filaria or parasitic worm was found in the man's eye. Several other cases involving the filaria occur, and it's up to the detectives to get to the bottom of it before the spread becomes even worse. This manga's okay to me, and I only say okay because there were a lot of lengthy moments that I feel like went on for too long. Like there's this one chapter where two characters talk about lobotomy for basically the entire chapter. I get that it fits in with the outbreak and the guy is obviously not a good guy because no normal person would go on with a subject like that, but I just felt like he was monologuing and no one likes a monologuer.
He starts monologuing.
Other than that, the illustrations of the victims and some of the characters in general were very nice to look at. The bugs look so realistic, it even made me itchy on some panels. It's a very quick read with only 3 volumes, so it won't take too much of your time, depending on how fast you read. And that is the end of this video. If you made it this far, I thank y'all so much for watching. My first 2 disturbing manga videos will be down in the description box. Please do me a favor and pull on that like button and subscribe. Until the next video, derpy